my perspective of the opportunity that we've got right now, because I think we're in really unprecedented times, uncharted territory. I think our society needs us more today than ever in history. And, you know, I was reading something the other day on the economy, and Canada basically mirrors the U.S. as far as population and wealth creation. And, you know, right now, 5% of the population controls over 95% of the wealth, actually. And, you know, is that fair? Yes. Is it fair? My daughter spends a lot of time trying to figure out why it's not fair. And I'm like, and look, you can go and set up a tent downtown. You can pick it. You know, but I said to her, I said, look, here's the bottom line. You should spend most of your time trying to figure out how to become a 5%er, not trying to figure out if it's fair or not. That's your job. Figure out what do they do. In fact, I saw this the other day. It said 1% of the U.S. population controls 40% of the wealth in this country. 1%. Is it getting better or worse? Are the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer? Totally. Are we seeing the demise of the middle class?
Yeah.
We go into homes all the time, and we see people making $60, $70, $80, $100, $120,000 a year, and they can't survive. They can't pay their bills. They're living on debt. And so I think that right now they need us more than ever before. But here's a question that really you have to ask. What do the 95%ers or the 99%ers do that the 5%ers don't do? That's really what is critical. And that's a question that people need to be asking. There's really two things. The 5%ers own their own. They don't work for somebody else. None of them, not one of them, has a job. You cannot build true wealth in a job. So if you're working a job right now, the very first thing you need to do is get out. You can't make it. It's not possible. Don't ask that question if you're working a job. You've got to get out of your job. You can't make it. And the second thing is that they understand the rules of the money game. And see, what I do is I make 95%ers 5%ers. That's what I do. I put people in that book. Who's got the book? The book. Anybody got a copy of the book with them right now? Hold that up. You've got a copy of the book? I know Santi's got it somewhere here. Is it right here? Who's got a book? Man, the book! It's a book! It's the book. It's the evidence. Right here is the book. This is what I do. I put people in this book. This is what you do. You came here for one purpose. Put people in this book. The more people I put in this book, the bigger the picture I get in the book. That's my job. Every day, I wake up with one purpose. Put people in this book. When I sit down with people, this is what I tell them. I help move 5%ers or 95%ers to 5%ers. And we start by putting you in this book. This is what we do for a living. My business partner out of Detroit and I have put over 80 people into this book so far. We want to put another 300 the next 5 years. Are you interested in being in this book? This book. The book of living, the book of dreams, the book of promises, the book of taking care of your family, the book of having an exceptional life. That's what this book is. This is what we do. We put people in this book. That's how we move people. So, we're in the midst of a revolution right now. I don't know if you understand what's going on. You know, and maybe not. Maybe not a lot of news is coming to you now because you guys are out of business, right? Your government's out of business, you know? You guys have shut down the country. Makes a lot of sense. So, but here's what I know. Here's what I know. The government will not solve the problems of the people. They can't. They're too worried about the 1%ers. They're paid by the 1%ers. The people, this has to be a grassroots movement. This is why our opportunity is exceptional right now, if we get the right attitude. We're in the midst of a revolution. It's a financial awakening that needs to take place in our society where middle-class people are starting and understanding they can't make it doing the things that they've done in the past. They just don't know what to do. And that's where we come in. We provide solutions. And then we help them get out of the job world so that they have a chance at becoming a 5%er. And so we're seeing another revolution in the home-based business world. Cheryl brought up a word. It's a dirty word in Primerica called network marketing. And if you talk to 100 Primericans, you know, 50 of them will say, we're not network marketing, you know, and they'll have an answer to how to handle that objection. And the challenge is, if you don't embrace truly what we are, then you cannot employ the strategies that built our business. Taprooting, the concepts that Cheryl went over today, it's really critical. People are looking for it now today more than ever before. But there's 1 million people in the United States that got 1 million more people that got into network marketing in the United States in the last 12 months. 1 million more people. Why? People that would never have considered ever being in a business like that in the past are joining. Why? Because they can't make it with a $100,000 a year income. And they don't see any way to have a life other than finding a way to build residual income. Those 1 million people should be in our company. Because of all the companies, we're the only one with a book. So when somebody starts to say to you, oh, well, we make a lot of money over here, don't be mesmerized by that. They don't publish their incomes. They'll never really tell you what they make. We prove that, congratulations, Brian, getting in this book. This is what it's all about. All right, so if you ask most people in this country, what is the greatest financial asset that you have, most people will say it's my house. Well, the reality is it's not your house. It's not your pension. The greatest financial asset that the average family has is their income. It's that stream of cash flow. See, if you and your spouse work and you make you know, $40,000, $50,000 a year each, you're going to make $2 to $4 million in your working lifetime, right? And so, see, here's the thing. You've got to protect that asset. That's what we do. We help people protect that asset because you work too hard for it. But here's what I know for sure. We do what's right for our clients 100% of the time. But, you know, 2 weeks ago I was walking on glaciers in Iceland, and, you know, while I was doing that, I wasn't thinking 1 second about my clients' assets. You know what I was thinking about? My assets. That's what I think about most of the time. So even though we do what's right for our clients, I don't really think about my clients' assets. I think about my assets. So even though we do what's right, the reality is nobody cares about your assets like you better care about your assets. Right? You will never find a financial advisor to care about your money. Here's the thing. How much money do we spend in our society trying to get rich today? I mean, a ton, right? You see them all over the place. Real estate, stock seminars, commodities. We see them, you know, lottery tickets. Anybody ever buy a lottery ticket? How about this? We spend a fortune trying to make a fortune and spend very little time trying to keep the fortune that we're going to make. That $2 to $4 million. What you do with that $2 to $4 million determines whether you'll have a life at the end, whether your kids will have an education, whether your family's going to be okay, whether you'll be able to retire one day. See, this is the message. I think we need to really go out and create a revolution. Canadians today spend $8 billion a year trying to win $1 million in the lottery. And spend nothing trying to figure out how to handle the $2 to $4 million lottery win that they're going to get in 40 years of work. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. But here's what I hear from people. I'm not a financial person. I'm not a numbers person. You know, I'm not financially savvy or astute. And I'm like, well, guess what? The banks are making billions of dollars a quarter off of people just like you. Who's going to make the profits? Who's going to reap the profits off of your hard work? You or them? It all comes down to how you handle that $2 to $4 billion or $1 million you're going to make. So what we do is we break down the walls. Now look at this. Look at this, the magnitude of what we could do if we really understood what we're involved in. What we don't need anymore is more damn regulation. These lawyers and regulators, all they want to do is just bring more regulation. They think they're protecting the clients by bringing more and more and more regulation. We don't need more regulation. We need people to be educated. So think about this. There's 90 million households in North America. There should at least be one person in every family that is licensed and handles the finances of that family. Shouldn't there be?
Yes.
The whole concept of, well, I don't know about money, I'm a nurse, I'm a truck driver, I'm a lawyer, I'm a construction worker, and so I let somebody else handle my money, that's a con. That's a con that has been perpetrated for 100 years by the banks and insurance companies to try and convince you that you have the financial services is a separate profession. That's BS. How's that working for everybody? It's not a separate profession. You should be a financially astute truck driver, a financially knowledgeable construction worker. You should know how to handle that $2 to $4 million, because even though I might be your financial advisor, I'm not going to care about you and your money like I care about my money. So what I believe is we should have 90 million licensed people in our society. There needs to be a grassroots movement to go to the government and say, who the hell are you to tell me I can't handle my own money? Right? I want to override 80 million. I'm not greedy. I'll leave 10 million for the rest of you. So how am I going to do that? 3 who get 3, who get 3, who get 3. See, our job is rapid vertical penetration into our recruits' markets. Let me give you a real quick analogy. I'm just going to kind of do this. I think it's really important. See, there's 52 cards. This is the biggest mistake I see people make in Primerica. The #1 mistake. There's 52 cards in a deck, right? My job, and they pay me incredibly well to find aces. That's my job. I'm looking for aces. See, we're in the sorting business. We're not in the convincing business. We're not in the babysitting business. We're not in the daycare business. We're in the sorting business. So my job is to go out there and just turn over cards. Now, what are the odds of the first card I turn over being an ace? About 1 in 13, right? 1 in 13, right? I don't want to ask you that. You guys are financial advisors. You don't even know how to divide 4 by 52. That's not even good. All right, but look at this. Here's what we do. I turn over the first card. It's my first recruit. It's a Jack of Hearts. Beautiful card, isn't it, a Jack of Hearts? This is my recruit, right? And if I know that if I just take care of this Jack of Hearts, cuddle it, maybe I'm gonna give it rides to the office. I'm gonna call it every morning and see if it got up in time. I'm gonna make sure it took its vitamins. I'll wake it up early in the morning and tuck him in late at night. I'm going to take care of this Jack of Hearts. I'm going to give him CDs and training and Tony Robbins. I'm going to give him everything I got, because I know that eventually maybe I can turn this Jack of Hearts into an ace. Right? No. And that's what we do. And we die with the Jack of Hearts. That's what we do. Right? Because we got our guy. This is our guy. And I gotta take care of this guy. I love this person. This is a mistake we all make. My job is not to turn a Jack of Hearts into an ace. It's to go through the cards till I get an ace. And then keep driving through. So Cheryl talked about that taprooting thing. Go get 3 who get 3 who get 3. It's very simple. If I drive 4 levels deep the first month the person joins, that's 120 IBAs I will take. Well, who's going to do the training and what? Training? I'm just writing up the 120. I don't want to go out and do kitchen tables. I just want to write up the 120. Who can compete with me writing up 120? Getting 3 who get 3 who get 3 who get 3. See, if I pour my energy into every morning waking up and saying, I must work with the most excited person, the deepest in my business every day, and my job, see, we all have places to go today. My job is to wake up in the morning, look at my business and say, who is not a senior rep yet? That's my job. And I am done my work when every single person in my business is a senior rep. That means every person has 3. So when will my job end? Never. So I will end when I'm financially independent, but I don't ever end because I run out of people to talk to. Month 2, think about this. Month 2, if I go 4 levels deep, 4 more levels deep, 3 wide in that business, that's 9,800 recruits. Even if you suck at coding, you're going to get 3,000 licenses out of that. That's 2 months. This is the business we're involved in. I think the challenge is, though, you're falling in love with your jacks and your 3 of clubs. And although they're nice, beautiful cards, they're not aces. Keep driving through. Let me just kind of finish with this, because I always like to do this. I don't like talking just about the work, you know. Never abandon your dreams just because someone living their nightmare told you so. I don't want to watch Discovery Channel on TV. I want to live Discovery Channel. And that's what I do. You know, I just go from one adventure in my life to another adventure in my life. And I just got back from Iceland. People go, why would you go to Iceland? Because it's